Hello, my friends. This is William M. Briggs. Those who are following my class, and I'm going to show you some things here in a second. Those who are following my class understand the weakness of science models. In fact, I often argue at my site, you can go wmbriggs.substack.com, wmbriggs.substack.com. I'll have a link down below. Know how bad science is. And in fact, what I want to show you today is to prove this to you. I'm not asking you to just take my word for it. I want to say that climate change causes all evil. Anything you can think of, anything at all. Somebody has gone out and written a paper showing how climate change, which I always put in quotes because it has no fixed definition whatsoever. It's just one of those scary things they want you to think about. And in fact, you watch and see it. YouTube's probably going to put at the very bottom of this video some warning that these ladies who run YouTube, who have no idea about science whatsoever, who merely want to police the morality of it, will warn you that climate change is, well believed by everybody, all the right people, and that kind of stuff. That's not the point. The point is that you could use all the stuff I'm trying to teach you in the class that you could prove anything, air quotes around prove. And I want you to show this to yourself. You're going to prove this to yourself. Science has just run amok trying to write papers on things. And so climate change is supposed to be evil. You know, it's supposed to be the man with the abbreviated mustache. I don't want to say the guy's name and get myself on the YouTube hit list. You know, the guy with the little mustache who is the boogeyman for everything. Climate change is him. And it causes every bad thing. So, you know, if it's fuzzy or it's delicious or it's pleasant to look at, climate change is going to kill it off. You know, but if it bites, it stings, or it's poisonous or something like this, climate change is going to increase it. And I don't ask you to just believe you. I want you to go and check this for yourself. And I've done some of this, but you're going to do it yourself. You are going to follow this order I'm giving you, and you're gonna see how it is. And I want you to put in comments if you think you found an exception. So I want you to go to Scholar. This is supposed to be an R. Scholar.google.com, and that is the repository Google search engine for scientific papers. That's all, and it does a reasonable job of cataloging the science. You know, they always put quotes around the science. From most publications, going back anyway for a few years. It doesn't have everything, you know, but it has a lot of stuff in there. And it's better than just going to Google itself, because Google itself or any other search engine has all kind of extra stuff, you know, commentary on this, news articles, opinion. We don't want any of that. We want the original source science material, the original papers. So you're going to go to scholar.google.com and you're going to type in X climate change, and you're going to put quotes around climate change, and those quotes around climate change is to make sure you get the words climate change in the paper title or its abstract or something like this. So you're making sure you're getting something, not just with climate, you know, because the climate of something, climate doesn't have to be, you know, you can have a political climate which has nothing to do with the atmosphere, that kind of stuff. So we want climate change. And X can be absolutely anything and everything. Look, it's not impossible that a climate that is slightly warmer, a tenth or 2/10 of a degree warmer than it was, say, you know, 100 years ago, can cause absolutely every bad thing. Prostitution is going to increase. Politicians are going to increase. Everything. You think I'm joking about the prostitution? Plug it in and see. Absolutely every bad thing in the world, and nothing good can come from climate change. Now, that's not logically impossible. It's not logically impossible, but of course, it's absurd. It can't be believed. So, just a few. I ran this on Twitter. I'll put the link. I'll put the link down below so you can see. Hemorrhoids. Someone suggested to me hemorrhoids. Combined quantum mechanics, molecular mechanics on docking studies on hemorrhoid drug. Because the control of isoprene emission is unclear, more research on the regulation of isoprene is necessary to understand how elevated CO2 conditions predicted in climate change models will affect. So climate change is going to make your hemorrhoids worse. Acne. This is just a few silly ones I did. Climate change, the cutaneous microbiome and skin disease, implications for a warming world. These are all legitimate peer review. Oh, they love peer review. Peer reviews. What happens when your peers are idiots? Well, then you have, I'll let you finish that yourself. How about irritable bowel syndrome? Some of my mini review of the impact of climate change on gastrointestinal health, which mentions, among other things, irritable bowel syndrome. Depression, well, of course. What do I got here? Depression. Climate change related depression, anxiety and stress symptoms perceived by medical students. Now, I'm never going to use any bad language on this channel, but who gives a flying rat's butt about what medical students perceive about climate change? It's not interesting, but they wrote a paper of it and you funded it. Your money paid for all this kind of stuff. Okay, podiatry. These are all medical things, I guess. Stepping up, isn't that clever? Stepping up climate change and health, the 3 pillars of green podiatry. Okay. Dandruff, right? Is a frequency of seborrheic dermatitis related to climate parameters. Halitosis, bad breath. The paper is Clinical Ecology and its repercussions on general medicine and epidemiology. And here's a quote. And mutation of the environment and climate change, the introduction of chemicals can be described initially asthma, halitosis, oral thrush, palpitations, weight changes, goes on. Ulcers, the effect of climate change on fungal diseases with cutaneous manifestations. A report from the International Society of Dermatology Climate Change Committee. The dermatologists have a climate change committee. Cataracts. The impact of air pollution and climate change on eye health. A global review in which, among other things, cataracts are mentioned. Lunacy. Climate change, bon vivre, and the dialectic of enlightenment towards a feminist critical philosophy of climate justice. Well, that's only a few. I did a post about this, and there was hundreds. I mean, anything you can think of. It hasn't been beaten yet. All right, you can put in some obscure term of one of your favorite celebrities or something, and maybe that won't come up. But you can put in celebrities, and that'll come up. You'll put in Hollywood or something like that'll come up. Everything comes up. And why is this? Now, scientists are just people. And they're slightly above average intelligence, most of them. And like all people, they're very good at finding evidence which confirms whatever belief they have. We've done this in class. If you've taken the class, you'll know this, how easy this is to do. But they're very bad and they're lousy. In fact, probably even worse than ordinary people at finding evidence which contradicts whatever they want to believe. And when you present it to them, they're stubborn enough and they look back at their degrees and their credentials not to look at that contradictory evidence. So you have this thing called consensus in science, which promulgates all manner of dumb beliefs just because everybody believes it. And they look at this mass of papers. You as a scientist working out there, I want to write on climate change because everybody else is, and there are literally millions of papers on this crap. So you want to write it too. And they look at this mass of papers. How can all these smart people be wrong? They're smart people. I know them. They're my colleagues. They work in the office next to me. I've watched this guy. He has divided 2 numbers without a calculator in his head. I mean, that's a feat. And so how is it that this guy can be wrong? Well, he's wrong because everybody's wrong. They're all following the crowd. They're following the consensus. And these kind of absurdities just crop up. Climate change, as in the quotes, just has to die. And if you're wondering how all this stuff happens in a mechanical way, why, you can come and take the class. It's free. You don't have to sign up. It's right here. Look for the playlist class or whatever I call it. I forgot. But meanwhile, I want you to try this. And not only this, today I had another post. It doesn't have to be just climate change. It turns out anything you can think of, like coffee, chocolate, wine, anything, skin cream, absolutely everything you can think of is going to kill you or it's going to cure you. The same thing for the same diseases. And you can prove both using these same methods. That's another one to try. I'll put a link in so you can do that, but I don't want to make the video any longer than 10 minutes and I'm running up against the end. That's it. See the links below. Thanks very much for watching.